how much self-scouting goes on in this time between now and the ECU game?
Well, you always self-scout. You know what I mean, Scott? You always look at stuff. I mean, analytics, there's so much report stuff that you have. So you're always doing that. You take a look at yourself. Not only look at your opponent, but you're always looking at yourself. It's not just this week, not a bye week. It's all the time. That's what you always do. So, take a look at ourselves and how we can improve. But that's a big part of every week, but especially this.
During the game, that long drive into the third quarter, into the fourth quarter, something to build on, because it really seemed like that was the type of drive that you had last year when you guys were going good, where even when you got up against a fourth down situation, you found ways to get first downs.
Yeah, you go back and look at the tape. We, still not to the standard of Navy football, obviously, the way we, play on offense. But we saw improvement. So I definitely saw improvement. Thought we played better. We got to cut down on our turnovers, but I thought we did better, and playing more consistently. The key to that game, I thought, was going to be turnovers and not giving up the big plays. And obviously we had, some turnovers and we gave up big plays. And, both of those led to our demise.
Health-wise, how are you holding up coming into the bye week?
After 2 games, we're relatively okay. Bumps and bruises, some nicks here and there, but doing okay. We'll find out more today. We'll see guys. They come for meetings and stuff, but for the most part, we're doing okay.
So I know it's only 2 games into the season, but do you feel like you need to make some serious changes, or do you just stay the course?
No, you're always making changes. I mean, you're always looking at stuff to change and improve. You look at stuff schematically, you look at stuff personnel-wise, look at how we're coaching, just all of it. It starts with me, looking how I get our team ready. You build off some of the positives, because there are some positives, and the stuff you're not doing is good. You try to build off and improve those and fix those. It's just we still have such a long ways to go. You know what I mean, Wags? It's, there's still a lot of season left to play. You know what I mean?
So it seems as though offensively you're getting nice pass plays. You've done well on the perimeter when you pitched it out there most of the time. It seems like it's the interior stuff that's not going. The quarterback keeps and the fullback dives. Is that a function of the O-line not getting the opponent off the ball, or what are you seeing on tape as to why? Because the average per carry for the fullbacks and the quarterbacks between the tackles is not great.
Yeah, we definitely can improve on that. That's everything starts with the fullback. Our O-line needs to block better. We need to call better plays inside. Our fullbacks need to hit it more, and we got to take care of the ball inside. More than the 2 things a fullback, number one, have to do, they have to take care of the ball better. I mean, we've had way too many fullback fumbles. Number 2, they got to hit it harder. And like you said, Wags, we got to do a better job of coming off the ball. And so we look back at our coaching, how we're doing things, and scheme-wise, what we're doing. So we try to look at that, just try to improve on, and all that. But yes, we definitely got to get better at that.
Last for me, Ty said at the post-game presser, I did not play fast enough. And talking to Keenan Reynolds on my pod, that's one of his analyses too. He's got to play faster. Do you agree with that? And how do you make that happen?
Well, I just got to keep going. He's just got to be more decisive on stuff. If people try to string stuff out, he's got to, put his foot in the ground and get up the field and get positive yards. It's not like people haven't done that before. They try to go outside and maybe take away some of the perimeter games, which, Coach Jasper is the best at coaching those guys. They do a good job of putting their foot in the ground and getting up and getting positive yards. And he tried a couple of times. He slipped a couple of times, which, hopefully we could have got some better stuff there. But he'll keep working at it, and we got to get in a better position, and we got to do a better job blocking in there too.
Phil Bergman.
Coach, the run defense held Memphis to 91 yards on the ground, 2.8 yards per carry. Would you consider the run defense right now a strength of this year's team?
Our run defense has been really good. I would say that's probably true. Feel that they played really well to run in 2 games. So I'm really pleased with the way we were playing against the run. But Coach Newberry would be the first one to tell you we can't give up those big plays. It's kind of, you see Memphis' speed on tape versus Mississippi State, but they're playing an SEC team. But then you see them live in person, like, whoa. You know what I mean? It just, maybe they're not running past the Mississippi State guys, but like I said, that's an SEC football team. And so I think a lot of that too just might have caught our guys. When you first feel the speed or see the speed, it's at a different level. They're definitely more athletic, more dynamic on the perimeter than Delaware. But, again, like I said, you might watch it against Memphis. Mississippi State, and maybe they're not getting behind people as much or whatever, but these guys can roll. But our run game has been stout to this point, and we got to continue to do that.
You have a new director of football operations this year in Josh Bost. What has he brought to the program?
Love Josh. He's been awesome. He's brought a lot to our program. It was a seamless transition for him because he had kind of been here a couple months. I'm not sure how long he was with there, but so he's still here with Brian Blick. So he got to see some of that, the transition that way. But also Omar Nelson, who's our chief of staff, has also been here for a while, so he knew things. But Josh knows the football operations world. He was doing that at Virginia Tech at a Power 5 school. So he understood the logistics, how important everything is, the timing of everything, the urgency, all of that stuff. He recognized that, you got to get things done, and he's been awesome.
And lastly, just a follow-up on that, for fans that don't know much about the DFL, how important is a director of football operations to a Division I college football program?
He does everything, just off the field, just logistics, just all the stuff that he does. He's got his hand in everything, off the field. And so, he's huge as far as, organization and the things that we do. There's so much involved in a Division I football program that you need a really, really good football ops guy to make sure that your program is running smoothly. And Josh has done a really good job.
Thank you.
I feel.
Scott Wyckoff.
Coach, when you have a bye week, is it even magnify the opportunity for a player who might be on the edge of getting more time in the lineup to show things in practice during that bye week time that can make a difference into the next game?
Yes, Scott, it's a great time for guys that may not have gotten much reps to kind of shine. It's a great time for everybody to improve. You know what I mean? So it's a great time for all of us to improve on all facets, which obviously we definitely need to do as a football team. And so, but yes, it's a great time for young guys to get more reps, maybe to, get more of a light shown on them, so to speak, to see them, how they're doing. So this is a good time for them.
Is the toughest thing, and not just now, but in coaching, finding that replication of game speed in practice that you match up against once you hit the field on game day?
Yeah, that's always the hard thing. Because you're trying to make sure that you can get to the games, you know what I mean? And so you got to be careful in how much you go against each other or how much live stuff you do, but you have to get that work. You don't want to leave everything on the practice field because football is such a violent game. But that always is a fine line of trying to get ready that way.
To that end, what have you thought of the physicality of your team through the first 2 games?
Much better the second game. I thought we played much more physical the second game. Well, I thought we played physical on defense the first game. I didn't think we played physical on offense against Delaware. A lot of it we played hesitant. But I thought we played much faster than we did against Delaware. But I mean, there's a lot to improve on that from the offense side of the ball. I guess the other part besides the run game as far as being a bright spot, but also I've been pleased with our special teams to this point. So hopefully we can keep that going. You know, that was a big nemesis last year. You know what I mean? So been pleased with that part of the game.
Thanks.
Thanks, Scott.
Wags.
What do you think of the way Mikael Haywood has played so far, Coach?
Been pleased with Mikael. You know, he's done well in the kickoff return. He's done a good job, obviously, when he's had the ball in his hands. He also recognizes he needs to be a complete back. I mean, he's caught some big catches too, but he's got to be able to block on the perimeter. You know, so all of that stuff, we just playing really well with the ball in his hands, but he's also a really good kid and recognizes that he's got to play much better with the ball, play without the ball also.
So is that a guy you feel like you got to maybe increase his touches based on the fact that whenever he's gotten the ball, he's done good things?
Most definitely. You know, he's our best kick returner. I felt like Vincent Terrell showed up this past week. You know, a kickoff, his pass. I mean, but he was a kid that wanted to Admiral Mac in spring, but he's starting to come and do things that he did in spring practice. So some of the runs that he's had, I thought that last kickoff return that he came at first, I was like, hey, keep it in there. He was moving, man, when he came out of the end zone. Had some nice catches. Daniel Jones has done a nice job, you know, when he's gotten the ball. Kai's solid. But yes, Mikael is leading that group, but we got some other young guys that are starting to play better. We're going to need for all of them to improve drastically, you know, next week.
Scott asked about health. What about some of the guys that have yet to play? Bijan, notably the most important, but also like Illyria Martese, because I think maybe you could use him up front at times.
We're hopeful that they'll both be ready for ECU. They're probably questionable to doubtful last week. And this week, I think they're more along the lines of probably more probable, you know, to play this week. So that's encouraging.
Thank
Phil,
you.
no problem, Wags. Phil Bergman.
Coach, is there a guy so far this season when watching tape that is doing the little things really well that we might not be seeing as much?
Colin Ramos. You know what I mean? I think Ramos has been the guy that's shown up and done a lot of good things. You know, been pleased with the way he's playing. Well, I was going to say he's showing up on tape too, but I mean on game day. But Busick, you know, I feel like Busick's been pretty disruptive, you know, and playing fast. And so when stuff like that happening, it's normally guys like Biscuit in the middle and Clay Carmel in the middle. Guys like that are doing their job, from Nolan Barber and Creedon Folger, those guys in the middle. So with some of the linebackers that, you know, have been doing some good things. We got a lot of young linebackers, and, you know, they're improving, from Johnny Woodson-Brooks, Tyler Fletcher, you know, Will Harbor. But the guy that's been pretty consistent in 2 games has been Colin Ramos and John Marshall. John Marshall's had 2 really good games, and probably on the side, Nick Straw's probably been pretty consistent over there too. Offensively, we haven't had anybody too consistent for 2 games. I thought guys improved. Probably the guy that's probably for me the biggest surprise is Conor Mcmahon. We put him in at guard and thought he played really, really well. And Sam Glover. So we had some young guys that had their, game as the first start of the season. First time Conor played Division I football, and I thought he flew around in there. So those are probably some, but from a consistency standpoint, those are probably guys.
And last from me, you've had this week 3 bye week. It looks like in 2017, 2019, 2021, and 2022. Do you like having this bye week in week 3?
I like it better for 2-0. You know what I mean? Because you want to get the bad taste out of your mouth. You know what I mean? So if you're 2-0, you're feeling good. Okay, let's rest up. Let's lick our wounds, so to speak. Let's try to refresh a little bit. And we're going to do those same things this week, but it's still hard. You want to go back and play. You know what I mean? You don't want this bad feeling to linger. And, you know, our guys are, you know, we've tried to push it past us, you know, last week's game, but our guys are still hurting, you know what I mean? And they're human, but hopefully we'll go out and have a good practice today, Phil, and try to, you know, get the blood flowing a little bit, just make sure we make our error corrections and press forward. But I would like it better for it 2-0.
An ongoing topic is the transfers, and all the other American Athletic Conference schools can load up with transfers. And that kid that caught the 75-yard touchdown pass.
The guy caught the long touchdown pass was a transfer from Iowa State.
Yeah, obviously he could move. It is what it is, you know what I mean? But yeah, I mean, we played last year where we played some teams like that SMU team last year, their D-line. I mean, they had a Stanford transfer, and yeah, it's college football, but yes, Wags, I mean, the people's rosters change yearly, and, you know, they got some good players in our league. And, you know, with that said, I mean, well, like I said, I feel good with when we had the ball, we're down 10-7 with the ball going down that drive. I mean, I'm feeling pretty good about ourselves. You know, obviously we had the turnover, but I think things obviously got out of hand at the end. But, you know, if people look at the score, they just see the score, oh, maybe got killed, but that's not the case. You know what I mean? We had our chances. There was a fight at the beginning. Then, so we don't get it. And so hopefully we go 14-10, but now we get it. But then they eventually go down and, you know, kick field right before half. And so it's just, it is what it is. It's, I mean, really good players in the league. Yes, their rosters have been bolstered through transfer portals, but it's not like it's been a surprise to us. You know what I mean? We've known that, and we just keep battling, man.
If you get the 2-point conversion, it's a 1-possession game with 10 minutes to go.
Yeah. And we had a shot at it too. We had some guys, and I don't know if Ty could see him or whatever, but we had a shot to that. But yeah. So it's like I said, you see the ending score, which is kind of the thing. All you just see is maybe got killed. But I mean, we're in that game. We're in that game. We're definitely in that game.